Some of the things that you might hear someone say about someone that they think is a narcissist is that the person is cocky, the person is self-absorbed, the person is nasty, the person is impossible, the person is high maintenance, everything's a problem, nothing ever goes smooth for this person. This person is mean. This person thinks nothing about putting other people down. This person thinks she's a queen, or this guy thinks he's a king. This person thinks they're better than everybody else. These are the kinds of things that you'll hear other people say about someone in their group that is narcissistic. And you might even feel this way about someone that you know. There's this level of arrogance, there's a level of entitlement. And what's really interesting is that the person who is highly narcissistic doesn't see, doesn't always see that their arrogance is a problem. It's like they don't care that they're arrogant. They don't care that they embarrassed the person serving them food at the restaurant. They don't care that they knocked into the old lady that was trying to cross the street with the grocery cart. She was in their way. If she didn't want to get knocked over, she shouldn't have been in the way. Why is she walking in the crosswalk? Why is she out of the house with the person who's supposed to be helping her walk across the crosswalk? It's not my fault she's an old lady and it takes her 20 minutes to walk across the crosswalk. I have things to do. This is literally the way a narcissist thinks. Now you as the partner will think, that is so rude. Like, where is the empathy and compassion for this old woman? This sense of entitlement will be palpable. And so these are the things you're looking for in terms of the traits of a narcissist. Well, here are the things that a narcissist lacks. So you actually won't see them in a narcissist, but if you think about them, which means that you have to come out of the box a little bit, because healthy people do have these qualities. And it's not always easy when we're trying to assess like what is going on in this relationship. It's not always easy to recognize what's missing. It's so much easier to recognize what is. Like I said, entitlement, this grandiose perception of self, this arrogance, this self-inflation, this hypersensitivity to criticism, this lack of empathy. But here are things that you won't see in a narcissist, and those things are sensibility. You won't see a narcissist behave sensibly. Things won't make sense. Their reactions will be over the top. And they will expect you to think about their perception all of the time. So the narcissist doesn't realize that in their super reaction to you or their overreaction to you, that they don't have empathy for you. They won't realize that. From their vantage point, you didn't have empathy for them. You didn't consider them, and that makes them angry. So they're not sensible. Even if you say, my dog died, that's why I'm late for work, they're not sensible. It's illogical to them. All they care about is that you were late for work. They expected you to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. You showed up at 9:20. Therefore, you are an enemy to them. And in their head, lots of times, they come up with this idea that you did it on purpose to hurt them. They won't believe that your dog died. They'll have very little empathy for you. So you won't see sensibility. The next thing, you won't see fairness, which sort of goes along the lines of sensibility. But a narcissist is not fair. Through the eyes of a narcissist, they are superior to you. So that means to be fair to you is to go against this idea that they are superior to you. The last thing a narcissist wants is to feel ordinary. The last thing a narcissist wants is to be like everybody else. Because in order to prop themselves up and to hide their insecurities, they have to rely on this idea that they are better than everyone else. So being fair just doesn't compute for them. You will, from time to time, bump into a communal narcissist who is doing everything that they're doing for the sake of receiving accolades. So if they donate to your cause, they want you to talk about it on Instagram. If they do something for your family, they want you to show it off on Facebook. If it's their birthday, they expect you to get a brass band and celebrate their birthday because they did something for you. When someone is a communal narcissist, they're doing it for the payoff. They're doing it for the trophy. They're doing it for the pat on the back. It's not genuine. They're not doing it for you. They're not really interested in enriching your life or helping your cause. It's all about them. And so what you'll see is, even though on the surface you might get involved with a narcissist who seems to have a love for a cause, when it comes down to a point where the narcissist needs to be affirmed, that's the payoff, that's when you'll see the unfairness. And that's where you'll notice the lack of fairness. That's where you'll notice the lack of logic. It doesn't make sense that someone who is donating to this cause is making the cause about them. It's irrational. If you're donating to a cause, you do it for the cause. You're doing Toys for Tots, you do it for that child that's going to open up that gift. You don't donate to Toys of Tots and then announce it all over Facebook. That takes away the blessing that you are offering this child. When you do something for someone, don't tell anybody. That's the best way to benefit from, in terms of the law of attraction, for the blessing. So give your blessing and shush. But that's not the way a narcissist rolls. So another thing that you'll notice that a narcissist lacks is understanding. So a narcissist does not understand your point of view, unless, of course, your point of view is a point of view that is mirroring back this idea that a narcissist is better than you, that you are the one who screwed up, not them. If you are someone who is in a situation where you need to manipulate a narcissist, then all you do is mirror what a narcissist wants. It's pretty easy to get them to calm down when you know that what they need is to feel better than you. And so when you say things to them like, yeah, you're right, I was wrong. Yeah, you're right, I should have known better. The narcissist starts to calm down because their narcissistic meter has gone up. You have offered them narcissistic supply. You are now propping up their grandiose perception of self, and they can now feel like you get it. You understand what time it is. They're better than you. And so there's no need to continue to put you down once you acquiesce and once you tell them what they need to hear. So the narcissist is not understanding of you unless, of course, you're understanding the narcissist. But it's a pseudo understanding. It's false. The narcissist doesn't understand you because the narcissist doesn't see you as a 3D autonomous being. You are a source of narcissistic supply. They're gaining something from you. So you're not even a 3D person, which is really debilitating mentally when you've been in a relationship with someone and you start to gain concept of this, like this person didn't see me. The last relationship that I had that really brought me to my knees, it was a very short relationship, but this was the dynamic. I was a mark. I was prey. And in all my other relationships that were also dysfunctional, and I admit I was the common denominator until I got myself together and started to realize that I am still ignoring red flags. And I really, really got it. There was no more messing around. Like I thought that I had a spiritual awakening. It was not. It was a false awakening. And that's why a little information is dangerous, because I thought I knew everything that I needed to know about codependency and about abandonment trauma, and I certainly did not. So this last relationship turned out that I was marked. I was his prey, and he was a predator. He learned me. He was investigating my background. He knew so much about me. He may have even known me better than I knew myself, and he used this to manipulate me. And sadly, I was one of 7. And we were all highly functioning women. We all owned our own businesses. We all owned our own homes. And it turns out that he was marking us for his own gain. So he had an agenda. And when I realized that this relationship was that deceptive, the level of betrayal that I felt, even though it was a very short relationship, left me feeling inside out. It was very difficult for me to wrap my mind around this idea that there are people out there that prey on other people and they know what they're doing. And there is an absolute agenda. And you are not seen as a flesh, blood, and bone person. You are a means to an end. And when you come at that relationship so authentically and so honestly and so vulnerably, and you wake up and you smell what's really going on, it can be extremely debilitating. But I can tell you that some of us need that awakening. Some of us are walking around through life like we're children. We assume that everyone thinks like us, and that's just not the truth. And that relationship taught me to wake up. That relationship taught me to recognize that there are predators out there, and I needed to protect myself. No matter what this person looked like, no matter what they said, I needed to be smart about things, and I needed to honor myself and not enter into relationships like a child, hoping to be loved, making people the mommy that I never had, or making people the dad that I never had, and hoping some other person would fill me up in the way that I had not been filled up as a child. Oh no, I realize it's time for time for me to fill myself up so much that this will never happen again. And I'm so thankful that everything I learned put me on that path. And in time, I was able to manifest a wonderful, beautiful relationship with my husband, Anthony. And if I can do it, you can do it too.